This is the Voiceover Gurus Podcast. Real talk about the voiceover industry with your hosts, Linda Bruno and JJ Wilson.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to the Voiceover Gurus Podcast. It seems like we actually have the ability to record video this time. We haven't posted a video in a good long while.
Sorry, can't pick my nose.
Yes, so
Sorry.
don't. Is that why
welcome,
you wore your,
everybody. Welcome.
Is that why you wore your Snoopy shirt?
It is. I wanted to wear a little peanuts today.
Peanuts. I like it.
Yes.
Peanuts.
Thank you. Has red buttons and yellow thread. So cool.
So our last two podcasts, because we had to split it into two, were with Paul Strickwerda.
Yes.
And that was so amazing. What did you think of him?
I thought he was amazing at his approach. I really did. It opened my eyes to quite a few things. And it's in the same realm, I think, of what we teach.
Yeah, but
he said
different.
it differently, and it was deeper.
Yes.
And I really, yeah. He almost made me calmer about the business.
I know.
He's like a psychiatrist of voiceovers.
He has almost a meditative approach
Yes.
to the whole process. And
Yes.
when he said he was a visibility coach, I'm like, what the heck is that?
Well, I'm right here. You can see me. That's what I
Right?
told him. But he said, no, that's not what I mean.
But
And I went,
it
no.
makes perfect sense because he really does talk about the next level after you get your training and you get your demo. It's like, now what? How do I make myself unique?
Exactly.
So what he
Exactly.
coaches really is valuable. And Little Bird told me that he's going to join us for some workouts in the future. Oh,
Really? You have a lot of little birds. Where do you keep them all,
I
Linda?
do. I have a little cage in my sound booth. And then I take them out when I have to work.
Caw-caw!
So that's going to be exciting because
I have a dachshund. This doesn't do anything
No.
but bark. So
it'll be a great, great perspective. Get his great perspective on your abilities. So I think we're going to move that to the fall since the summer's been a little wacky.
okay. It's also very hot.
It is hot. It is hot.
Yeah.
But
Today it's
otherwise-
only 87, which is just a lovely thing because it's been 97 here.
Well, here in New York, it's like 77 and sunny. So I'm not to push it in your face, but
Oh, thanks a lot. I'm having to wear underarm pads. It's terrible.
So welcome back to the Voiceover Gurus Podcast. We are excited to be here again. We're always excited.
I am
to be
excited.
here. Yeah, and we got a question from our very popular student Tony.
Tony. Yes. We'll use his secret name.
How does the audience know it's a secret name? Because you just
Because
said
I
it.
just gave it away. Yep. His name is really Annette. No? And what is that question that Tony had for us? Because I think I was discussing this with another student last night. And I could be terribly wrong. See, I'm already answering the question. You haven't even asked it yet.
I haven't. So Tony wants to know
Yes.
if you get an audition script, if it appears that the audition script consists of the whole script for the job,
Yes.
do you record all of it and send that?
Well, I think it first depends on if they say, please record a whole script.
Right. Mm-hmm.
If they don't, then don't.
Yeah. What do you do, like 75% or?
Yeah, I give them a good taste, and sometimes I will record the whole thing. I'll send them half, and in the notes section to the pay-to-plays, I will say, I have the rest recorded and edited. If you decide to go with me, I can have you the rest of the file in 5 minutes.
Oh,
Because
nice.
it's already done.
Oh, I like that.
Sometimes they do that and I also do the same thing when they say, read the entire thing, but I only do that with the pay-to-plays. Now,
Right.
My agents, I have no worries. They're not
Right.
going to let that happen.
Right.
I record the whole thing and send it off without a worry in my mind.
Yeah.
But the pay-to-plays, I would be careful because I've had a couple, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, but 30 times in my career that somebody has said, oh, yeah, you do this audition, and then they either call and say you didn't get it, or they never call back. Mm-hmm. And then some, stumbling upon something on the internet, a YouTube video, and there I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, those sons of a guns.
What did you do about it?
I called him up and I said, how much you paying me for that, the one that I didn't get?
Ooh.
And he said, oh, God, they used it? And I went, yes, they did.
This was through a pay-to-play?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay. And you don't want to say what pay-to-play it was?
No.
Okay.
No. It rhymes with Hoises done boo free.
John Boo 3.
It rhymes with that.
Okay.
So if you can figure that out, it shouldn't be too difficult. The other one is, of course, Choices Rot Mom.
This is definitely our new reference for these pay-to-plays. What's the other one? Hoises?
Choices Rot Mom.
No, what's the first one? Hoises.
Oh, what did I say? I don't even remember now.
I have to listen back to the podcast.
Choices.
Hoises.
Ooh. Oises plot done through tree. Yeah, that's what it is.
So anyway, you contacted them and said, hello, it was used.
No, I went straight. Yeah, I contacted the client.
Oh, the client directly.
That I went through, and I said, gee golly. And that's happened with a couple of regular producers as well.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, sometimes they just, I don't know, they have no scruples.
That's
but
crazy.
I do know that some car dealers that we do stuff for and some things that you and I record and that everybody records, there's a cut down of a 15 somewhere running of that we never got paid for.
Yeah, it's true.
I find that out all the time with car stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, we made it into a 15 as well. And I went, oh, great. That's good.
Yeah, I'm supposed to get paid for that.
The honest people, the honest agents, the honest people that, that we work with, will say, hey, we're going to do a cut down. That includes one cut down the pay.
Right.
And it's usually a little bit more.
Right.
They pay a little stipend for the not having to do anything except them doing it, and they get another spot out of it.
Yeah, for the usage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I handle that. If they ask for the whole thing and it's an agent, go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it. Edit it. Make it sound fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And in the other case, what I do if they ask for the whole thing on a pay-to-play, I will record the whole thing, but only send them part of it and write that note in there.
That's
the
a great
rest is
idea.
ready to go.
I base it dependent on the length of the script.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If it's a 17-minute video, I'm not reading the whole thing. No.
But I mean, even if it's like a 2-minute script, I'm not really going to record the whole thing. And
yeah.
I record a decent part of it, and I find a good place to kind of stop. Where it seems,
and then
I know, not an awkward pause, but a natural pause. And
they can't possibly finish it.
But I'm thinking to myself, they're judging based on your read and if it's going to work for their client.
Right.
And I get it if it was like a 30-second spot and you read half of it.
What they're trying to do is get themselves a scratch track sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm thinking
build video too.
The purpose of an audition is to be able to hear the different voices, and plus also you're going to get 50 auditions, and you're going to listen to 100 minutes of recordings. So to me, try to wow them from the first whatever amount it is, and then if it's a long thing, if it's short, I do take my chances a lot of times on the pay-to-plays.
Yeah.
Used to, anyway. With agents, I give them whatever they want.
Exactly right.
Whatever an agent asks for. Or a production
clients,
company. If somebody reaches out and says audition, I do exactly what they ask.
Right. And sometimes you can get a feel. I have a client that I work with that I read the whole thing. And he says, it's between you and a couple other guys. Just read me the full thing. We're going to use your voice for the scratch. For those of you who don't know what a scratch is, it's a track that is read first. You read the copy first. Then they build the video to your read. Mm-hmm. And either the client goes, yeah, let's keep that voice on there. I like the way he sounds. Or can I hear what voice number 2 sounds like with that video now? So they will read along with my script, my read, and put it in there in the same timing. And You may get the job, you may not, but it gives you a better chance if you are the scratch voice.
True.
So,
but now, when they tell you you're going to be the scratch, are you asking for anything monetarily?
No, not on this account because it's a biggie, and 9 times out of 10, it's me anyway. So,
right. Okay. So if it's an existing
problem with
client, it's
Right.
someone that you've done
Right.
business with, then you're basically doing them a favor by giving them a scratch track.
Exactly right.
Because
exactly right.
You
But
shouldn't naturally be recording scratch tracks for nothing.
No, there are some cases where a client, you get the job and they send their scratch track that they did before.
Oy.
They knew they were going to use me, but they didn't want me. They felt bad. They wouldn't want to read the script.
So they had the receptionist read it.
It's in one of the accounts. It's an English guy who I believe has scuba gear on because he never freaking takes a breath ever. He's got the English accent. He talks about this fast. I'm going, please.
It wasn't one of those AI voices, that British AI voice?
No.
Okay.
No, this guy is no. And I just said, if you ever want to, I'd be happy to do the scratch for you.
Yeah.
That way it'll be somewhere in the ballpark of, and it'll probably be about a half a minute longer too. He never takes a breath. It's just, so I'm reading there and I'm going, how am I going to keep up with this guy? I'm taking out every breath that I've ever taken in my whole lifetime and squishing everything together. And it's just so, yeah. And then sometimes you get one like from a Spanish agency and they're converting it to an English version
Right.
for the English speaking and listening board members or what have you. And they do it. And it's just like, or sometimes I actually read the Spanish even though I don't speak it. But you can kind of get a feel of where they end
Right.
and begin and end to begin. But the Spanish is so many more words.
Right.
Sometimes you really have to slow down to stay in. Yeah, that's another thing that we do a lot that we don't talk about much is reading to someone else's track. You have to actually load the video and the audio onto whatever program you're using. And then you have to create a new track, and you have to read the script in the same amount of time he does. You have to start with him and end with him at the end of every sentence. If you're off a little bit in the middle, it's okay, but not much. Especially if they're showing a list of things on the screen, they've got to hit when you
Right.
say number 3, and that has to be appearing. So you got to stay with them. But for the most part, you have to stay pretty darn close.
The same holds true, though, with if you're having to pick up on your own narration. So
Yes.
something that you've recorded. Like yesterday I did a job for someone, and my rule is if I haven't
Wait,
worked with
I
you
wanna know
before,
who- let me get a
you
pencil.
always ask,
Who
and
was
I'm
that?
not telling you. So he had
Send you a
me,
check.
he gave me the
Make your
script.
breadboard. No.
And my rules are that I'm going to read for you the first 2 paragraphs in whatever style it is you said, and then I need you to approve it. So I usually give
Right.
2 versions. So yesterday I gave one, it was for a rehab center out west. I gave one pretty warm and empathetic.
And the other one was like, hey, dude.
Hey,
what's
what's up? Yeah, let's go drinking.
Do some spliff, man. Oops.
And then the second one was a little more corporate-y, I guess, a little more,
Okay.
but with a touch of empathy,
Okay.
So I send them off. He picks version 2, which was the corporate-y with a touch of empathy. Fine. So I was like, great. So I loaded in the existing thing he approved,
Right.
and I continued from it because it
Right.
had been approved.
And do you put it on a track and read most of it to get
Yes.
yourself way back in that mode?
Yes.
And then just keep reading.
Right. So
Yes,
it's like
yes.
you get the pacing down, you match yourself. Plus, I also have to
Right.
match myself, as far as tonality goes and
Right.
the feel. And I will frequently pause, go back to the beginning of the file, listen to it again, and compare them
Yes.
to make sure, because heaven knows there are times, we've been doing this for so long that we have a lot of variance in our reads. And there can be, might not even think about it, and all of a sudden you're like, oh gosh, I sound too caring now at the end. I didn't start that way.
Right.
So
cool.
So, but that's the same thing. You have to listen. You have to pay attention to the timings. You have to pay attention to your pacing too,
Yeah. Yeah.
to what it is.
So that's the answer to that question, Jimmy.
Jimmy.
And could I just I have some honesty that I'd like to share with everybody.
Should we just continue the question first and then we come back to your honesty?
Oh, did we answer?
There's
didn't we
more
answer
to
that
it. There's more.
Oh, there's a second part?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I just thought we'd interrupt that with a short story. It's not funny or anything. It's from the heart.
Okay,
It's from experience.
Okay, let's hear what you got.
Well, as I told you, 3-4 weeks back, I did a session for a client I've had for many years, and there was problems. I messed up a word or two here, there.
Yes.
I just flip-flopped them, and the word at the end, there would have been no way I would have ever known. I could have looked it up until I was blue, and I still wouldn't have known. Well, I probably might have. I probably should have called. And the read matched pretty well. But what that did for me was tell me that, you know what, you've been doing this a long time, and you kind of do it in autopilot sometimes.
Yep.
And, you come in, you go, oh, okay, it's that, blah, 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 blah.
I'm
You
guilty
don't
of
even
that
listen
too,
to it
yeah.
back,
Mm-hmm.
and you send it off. And it's a bad thing to fall into. You have to kind of grab a hold of yourself and say, you still got to do it like you did it 20 years ago. You've got to give it that amount of time.
Right.
And so yesterday, he sent me another script for the next episode. And when I took my time and was very careful about it and made sure everything was right, it took twice as long. But I thought that overall the read was better. There were no mistakes. I listened to it like 4 times just to be sure. And I got a really good read. Excellent. No changes. Thank you so much. But I just want to remind the people who have been doing this a long time that you can fall into that trap.
Yes.
It's a car spot. Okay, I'm in. It's out the door in a minute and a half.
Right.
Take out the breaths and go boom. And you've gotten the price wrong.
Right.
A new Lincoln Navigator from $2,300.
What?
Wow, that's amazing. They were calling it, that's 1,000. Yeah, okay. So just beware of that. And it's not an easy thing to admit, but you do this so long and you just get in that trap.
We get into our modes,
Yeah. I got 5 things to do. Let me get through this first one. It's long, but you have to, and I'm always been the type, and I think part of the reason people hire me is because that I am fast. Mm-hmm. If they send me a car spot, they know that it's not going to be tomorrow at 2:30, and a lot of people do that.
Right.
I'll get it back to you tomorrow between 10 and 12, and I'm going, no, I'm not doing anything right now. I'll have it back to you in 8 minutes so you can work on it and get it on the air.
Right.
But I'm guilty of going too fast sometimes.
Interesting.
I've had the guy, the producer, Channel 7, said, how did you record that? I haven't even sent you the copy yet. That's how fast I got it back to him. I mean, it was literally under 60 seconds. It was just 2 lines. But then I realized that, maybe I'm getting older. And they know I'm always going to do it, and it doesn't have to be done in 8 minutes. If it's 12, it's okay, and it's probably better, right? So
Yay,
that's just something I wanted to say. Take your time and make sure that your work is up to puff.
Up to puff. I've had that situation.
I just wrote a new saying.
I've had that situation happen a few times, though, where I'm so speedy, and then they send me a copy change like 5 minutes later, and I'm like, crap.
I know. Exactly. I'm sorry. The client changed the entire script. Can you? So go ahead and record it. And I went, I already did.
Yeah.
And that's a very good point. That's a downfall of that's happened to me so many times. You read the whole thing, it's a great read, and then they send it back and go, before you record, we just thought we'd make some changes. And I said, I already sent it back.
I hate seeing that. Before you record, or I hope you didn't record this yet, because and I'm like,
oh my God.
Yeah, I did.
So
I usually do that. I wait
for
Disney when they book the session. Like I have one for it's due Monday night for me. They'll send me everything, probably all the materials Friday to download.
Right.
I'm going to wait till Monday because 9 times out of 10, they'll say, can you use this script instead?
Right. We don't want Tinkerbell in this one.
Yeah.
We want the swirly cups.
Right. Yeah. So I've learned that way because I'm like, oh, now I got to open up the session. I got to make sure my energy's the same and all that.
Yep.
But sometimes,
Very good point you brought up, though. I forgot all about that part.
Yeah. Being a little too
I've
quick.
said it. before you record. Well, you know me.
Being a little too quick isn't always the best thing.
No, it's not. It's not. So what's the second half of Peter's question?
Peter said, we answered this part. If so, do you purposely alter something in the script to make the recording unusable? Change your phone
farting
number.
sounds are good to put
Farting
underneath.
sounds or address.
Yes.
So
do you know that Dave Corey and I did that once? When back in the days when we had 2 tracks, we had two tracks, and we would go very fast, the fastest speed on the 2-track, and Dave would fart into the microphone.
Oh.
And then we would slow that down and record it to the other 2-track, and then slow that at high speed, then slow it down again until we had like a minute and a half of whoomp, 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 whoomp. And we used to put it underneath the spots that ran on the station.
Wow, I'm sure glad I didn't have to use those microphones.
Okay, no.
The mics you're farting into.
Yes. They were a real gas.
So you've never actually removed something to make the recording unusable. The way that we make it unusable.
Oh, yes. I have.
You have.
You can either change the name of the client. And see, what I think should be done by these people is that half of the auditions they get, they change the name of the client.
Right.
You know, that's the fair thing to do. It's a very easy problem to fix and take the worry out of our end. Just send us something else with a different name. Well, the client won't be able to get it and understand. Well, you know what? Help him or her or them or us or whatever. But yeah, I've left things out. You know, just the phone number. The stuff I know they can't just stick in there. And yeah, but I'm very trusting. I really am. I'm like you. I really am.
Me too.
I very rarely watermark anything.
I want to believe that they're honestly casting and really going to pick the right person and do the right thing and pay that person. Maybe it's, I don't know. It's worked out so far. I'm going to say that.
And it is better for the client to be able to hear the whole spot. Mm-hmm. You know, so they can really get a feel of how you begin and the middle and then how you end it.
Exactly.
And that way they get the full story. And so take a chance. It's a good world.
There's one production company that sends me auditions. I've yet to work for them yet.
What's their name, Linda? Let me write that down.
They require you to read the whole thing. I mean, beginning to end, because they make the video to it. And they present to their client fully produced.
Yes, that's what they do with my client I was talking about earlier. Yeah.
So they're not just playing voices.
Right.
Like they're playing the fully produced thing. But okay, the second part to his question was
Alan's question?
Alan's question was,
good.
Is your audition process different for a direct client, an agent, or a P2P, like horses? So what was
Horses Rot Nom.
Right. So do you have a different process?
No.
Yeah, me neither. Well, what did you say before we started? You said I work harder.
Only for the good agents.
I work harder for the agents.
But no, this is showbiz. Whether they're, Jimmy Bob's Car Wash in Oklahoma or Cheerios, I give it the same amount of energy for both.
But what if...
I managed to as many takes of Jimmy's Car Wash.
What if you get Jimmy's Car Wash in perpetuity for $500, gonna live on their website, and then your agent calls and says, I got a $10,000 gig for you for, I don't know.
I just have to wear more deodorant
10
for the
lines.
second one. That's all.
I mean, but you give equal amount of attention?
Yes, because it's the little gigs that keep you going.
Well, sure. I'm just saying that maybe you give the little gig a great amount of attention, but the big gig,
the big gig
lot
just makes me
of
sweat.
Attention.
Yes. I do. Yeah, you tend to get more. Oh my God, oh yeah. There is that. So probably there is a bit more energy going into it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but I try, and that's the other trap that you can fall into when you've been doing it as long as we have, is that the little guys, okay, I'll just do this one, and then I got this big audition I got to work on. And, you could have booked the $500. And if you do that 4 or 5 times a week, you're making $100,000 a year. So,
now, do you get nervous, though, when you get like these really big jobs to audition for?
No, I get nervous if I book them, but only for a second. I feel, I say to myself, oh my God, I just booked a Purina, and there's going to be people on the phone, and I
So you get the butterflies for that.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I use them wisely.
Nice.
I don't let them take over, and they're gone by the, I try humor. Do you know that I'm humorous sometimes? I try to be a little humorous. Yeah.
You know what?
Yep.
Because it's not on your demo. I wouldn't know.
Right. No, well, I'm going to do a single demo with just that on it. So.
Send it to me.
Okay, no. But yeah, no.
Maybe you should
more
talk.
Energy.
Sorry. Oh, goodness
If that's for me, I'm in the shower, okay?
I have someone coming to see, let's just let this go to voicemail. I have someone coming to see the studio in like 20 minutes. And they've already called twice with questions. So it's going to be one of those visits.
Gotcha. Is that real wood on your wall?
I know.
Or is that laminate?
Why don't you talk about, I don't think our student would care if you talked about the question that he had regarding the pay to play and creating individual.
One of our students, we'll call him Timmy, asked about, he just joined Voice 123 and said that he heard two women who were, I couldn't really understand at first whether they were actually working as, the owners or, the part of the team at Voice 123, or they were just members. Mm-hmm. And they were telling the people that maybe on a podcast or something that, yes, you really need to get just snippets of your demo. And that way when sometimes when they send auditions, they say no custom audition required. Mm-hmm. They say just send sample.
Right.
So what I do is I send my demo. Mm-hmm. But now, according to what they're saying, no. It's best to have just a sample of the kind of read they're looking for. Mm. Well, I'm sorry, but how the hell are we supposed to know what kind of read they're looking for?
Right.
We have 8 spots on our demo. What am I supposed to do? Pick one that I think is right? Because once they get through that and it's wrong, you're done. Mm. If you send your whole demo, maybe the next spot is closer to what they want. You never know, and we know this from the descriptions they give that are, paragraph long. He's tall but short, funny but short, and we want him to be indicative and this and that. So I said, you could call the first part on your demo 3 different things.
Right.
Which one are you going to send it for? And mm-hmm. I don't know if I buy that. And I asked him, I said, if I cut up your demo, some of the reads are going to be 7 seconds. And he said, oh, that's what they said to do. And I said, really? Really? They're going to be able to tell with a 2-second intro and then 5 seconds of you whether you're perfect for that spot.
Well, that's the trend right now, JJ.
I know, but I don't think it should be. I think they're doing themselves a disfavor by not getting all of the opportunities that are in front of them.
I think
they're in such a they're like me. They're like us. They're in such a hurry to get the damn thing done because everybody's pressuring them that, you just need 5 seconds. Yeah, he's good. Let's go.
I think at this point, though, you can't go wrong with what we've talked about in the past, because what I have on my website is my samples described by the type of read.
Right.
So it's not a client name. It's warm and caring. It's conversational. So if that's the vein you're thinking, where you just want to start to label the various aspects of your demo by those keywords, I understand that.
But suppose they don't think what you think. Suppose the ear of the beholder is different. They go, that wasn't warm and caring. What a jerk. I'm moving on. Seriously.
I know, but I get that. But for me, it's actually worked out pretty well because it's made it very easy for people to cast me, because in their mind, they're like, I need a warm and caring read. So they go and listen. They go, oh, great. And then they ask me about that. It just seems it's one less step where people have to think. We'll put it that way. Because
isn't that sad?
It's sad because instead of listening to a full demo and deciding for yourself what the read means for you, you need to be told the emotion that is being expressed. It's just a reality of it. So I understand
think all
where
the
he's coming
producers
from.
out there should take our course. It would give them a perspective of what we go through on this end.
Yeah, learn.
And how we take their instructions that are a paragraph long.
Yeah, we take them to heart. I know.
What?
I know.
Keep it simple.
So are you going to try and separate things out? Are you going to talk to him
I'm going
first?
to separate things out for him, yes. And I may just do it myself.
Oh, yeah.
I may just do it myself. One of them is going to be, That's going to be the I agree with you read. And then I'm going to go, no. That's going to be my masculine read. And then I'm going to go, what? That's going to be my romantic read. So they'll be able to get a good gist of what I'm doing. Yeah, and the other one I'm just going to play music and not say anything.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. That's funny.
That's my really laid back read, the today read, the I don't give a shit about anything read. I didn't care so much that I didn't even record anything. So there. Oh my God, let's book this guy.
Too. That's funny. All right, so that does it for this episode of the Voiceover Gurus Podcast.
It seems to go by so fast.
It really
doesn't
does.
It
but
really does. This
don't
was
forget,
a good one, though. Those were good questions.
Don't forget to visit our website because we have the online course that you can take that several people have taken now. It's fantastic. And it's a great, easy way for you to get in with being able to study with us very affordably. So just go to the website, voiceover.guru. You just scroll down a little bit. You'll see it says online starter course. And join us. Then this way.
Where do I go for the online starter course?
Voiceover.guru.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
does it say online starter course?
It does.
Because we've had a few people ask where that is.
And also,
it's right under where it says online voiceover course. Yeah.
You can also register for our online voiceover workouts there at the website too. We've got a couple for this month, July. And then August we'll see because a lot of people go on vacation, especially post-COVID. So we'll see.
Yes, J.J. Wilson is going on vacation.
Yes, he is.
For a little while, yes. He's going to drive a lot.
Any questions or comments or topic suggestions, email us at info@voiceover.guru. Hey, have a great day, JJ.
Hey, you were talking about registered, and I just wanted to tell you that in the news yesterday, an unregistered nurse was arrested for making collect obscene phone calls.
An unregistered nurse. I got to think about this. Do it again?
An unregistered nurse was arrested for making collect obscene phone calls. But you have to be our age to know what collect means, so never mind.
I know, my God. Okay, all right. And even that is kind of like going a little... Not one of your better ones.
Well, I'm sorry.
Not one of your
George
better
Carlin.
ones.
I'll blame it on him.
But you have amazing ones, so...
Thank you. Thank you.
It's good. Leave me with another George Carlin one.
Let me see.
The plane ones.
Oh, yes. George Carlin says, I don't understand airports. They always make the announcement, we have me likely to pre-board. And he says, what do they want me to do? Get on the plane before I get on the plane? What does that mean? Yes, please get in the plane. On the plane, no. In the plane, yes. I'm not riding on the wing. Anyway.
And there you go.
That's that. Thanks for joining us again for the 94th podcast. And I'd like to thank all the names that we used today for the two people we were talking about.
Exactly. They understand us.
I'm probably not going to remember their names now because of that. So, Jimmy, it's Al. Okay.
Everyone have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, and choices rot nam.